What is happening, guys? It's Spruce Goose here, and we have a first today. So as most of you know, I stream 4 nights a week over at twitch.tv/SpruceGooseTV, and for the first time ever, one of my Twitch viewers used their channel points to redeem VOD review. So some of you might be asking, Spruce, what the heck are you talking about? So VOD means video on demand, so basically, I'll be reviewing gameplay footage from one of my viewers playing Madden 21 and give them thoughts and feedback on how I think they could improve and highlight things that they're doing right. And for those of you who don't use Twitch, channel points are a free currency that you accumulate just by watching the stream. So if you want to see me review your gameplay in one of these videos in the future, get over to the stream and start racking up those channel points. So the individual who redeemed VOD review is none other than dignitybegaming, who himself is a Twitch streamer and an excellent Madden player. Now Dignity is top 100 on the PS4 regs leaderboards and a much better Madden player than me. So I think we're going to mostly be highlighting things that he does really well in his gameplay footage, but I'll also be giving him some thoughts and feedback if I notice anything he can improve on. So for this video, we're going to focus on Dignity's defense as he goes up against a regs player who averages 35 points a game. And I wanted to focus on defense because I think that defense is where the majority of Madden players have the most room for improvement. Now, if you enjoy the gameplay, go give Dignity a follow on his Twitch channel, which will be linked in the description below. And if you enjoy the video, please like, comment, and subscribe so I know that you guys want to see more content like this in the future. But enough intro, let's jump into the VOD review. Alright guys, so this is his first defensive drive of the game, and the first thing that he does is he goes to his base defense formation, nickel 3-3-5 odd, and he puts in safeties at the linebacker position. The safeties are usually faster, they get better interception animations. Those are the players that you want to be using almost every play. He also sets his audibles real quick, and the other thing that you can see just on this first play, and you'll see all game, is just how fast he does quick adjustments pre-snap. If you guys don't know how pre-snap adjustments work, with the quick adjustments, if you double tap Y or triangle, it pulls up your secondary quick adjustments. If you double tap right on the D-pad, I believe, it pulls up the linebacker quick adjustments, and left on the D-pad, again, a double tap will pull up the defensive line quick adjustments. And those are individual adjustments you can make. If you guys want to see a full video on that, let me know in the comments below. It's a little too complicated to get into right here, but just throughout the game, you will constantly be seeing pre-snap different icons popping up and different guys being put on different assignments, and that is because he is an absolute master of those pre-snap quick adjustments. So guys, for this part here, I really want to pause for just a second once we see his coverage, and I want us to actually look at why he's doing what he's doing. He is not just putting random zones on the field. So on the right side, he has double mabled, which means he has a blue zone and a purple zone stacked together. Now, I don't believe he has set any custom depth drops yet, but he's got a hard flat, which is going to play just a couple yards off the line, and the curl flat will really cover anything 10 to 20 yards deep over here. But the reason that he is putting these flats on this side of the field is that his opponent has a trips wide receiver set on the other side of the field, and it's very common to see drags, slants, crossers going to the other side of the field from that trips wide receiver set. And so this is going to completely cover any drag, any slant, even any crosser that is sent over there. And then he doesn't have to worry about chasing those down. He can focus on anything in the middle. If these guys stop on a curl, if the tight end comes on a post or a slant or a drag, he can worry about that with his user. And so I love this setup, putting those zones opposite the side of the trips wide receivers. So if we go ahead and watch the play, his opponent is in a pistol set. He motions over Metcalf, and it was great coverage, but unfortunately, the running back was able to slip out of the backfield. And you know, that happens sometimes. It can be a good coverage, but your opponent just beats it. Now, I believe that the running back might have been his user assignment. Oftentimes, if people are going to play man coverage, they will take control of the defensive player whose assignment is the running back and kind of gamble on your opponent blocking the running back, and now your user is completely free to go roam wherever they want. That didn't happen in that case, but that's okay. Now right here, I believe he was just playing a very aggressive mid blitz, and DK Metcalf is just a matchup nightmare. You really can't leave Metcalf one-on-one without any safety help over the top. Now, I think he tried to shade over the top. Maybe he got quick snapped and didn't get his shade over the top off in time, because usually with a shade over the top, at least the corner will be somewhat close, but Metcalf got insane separation. But that's okay. It happens. Sometimes you have to take risks. You have to play aggressive sometimes to try and force some turnovers. But that was his first defensive drive. Let's jump to the next one. All right, guys, so he went down the field and scored another touchdown really easily. So he's up 14-7. He is on defense again. His opponent is going to run the first play of the game. If you watch, he was using one of his linebackers, which is really a safety subbed in at linebacker. And you just have so much versatility when you're using a safety at the linebacker position. So he was able to easily run the ball carrier down and bring him down for just a 1-yard gain. I highly recommend, guys, if you are still using on the defensive line, definitely work on using a linebacker or a safety, because you just have so much more versatility. You can cover the entire field and guard the run or the pass. Now, he is in a mid blitz right here, super aggressive. And again, you can see there's no one manned up on the running back. So his assignment is the running back if he goes out for a pass. And his opponent made a great adjustment. But that is kind of the risk that you take. Now, sometimes, we will see this mid blitz again. And what he will do sometimes is he will come in with his blitzer and engage a blocker and then back off and go into coverage. And by engaging a blocker, it leaves one of his other rushers free to come in at the quarterback. So right here, his opponent is going to try and run again, and there's just nothing there. I mean, run defense, guys, as long as you are, not doing anything too crazy, and as long as you have good user and you're not letting your user get kind of trapped in the wash down near the line of scrimmage, and you are getting good sideline to sideline movement, run defense shouldn't be too big of an issue. The biggest issue most people have is in pass defense. Now, once again, with the trips tight end set, not the trips tight end, but the trips wide receiver set, he was double mabled on the right side of the field, and again, his opponent ran the same play, but that was a very difficult throw. That's honestly something that I think you're okay with. Now, he's going to start adjusting. He's going to start putting a hard flat on the left side of the field to account for the running back out route. So he's not going to let his opponent run that same thing for the rest of the game. Now, his opponent right there got off a good run. Unfortunately had a missed tackle. Even for a great defensive player like Dignity, it's just a tough year to play defense. Now, he is going to send pressure once again, I guess 2-minute warning, but he's really wanting to dial out the pressure. He's a nickel 3-3-5 wide, Mike Blitz 0, one of my favorite blitzes in the game. If you guys saw my video on gap shooting, I love the user rush out of nickel 3-3-5 wide, Mike Blitz 0. It's super powerful. And right there, he's actually bringing it even more aggressive, because again, instead of using that middle linebacker, he was actually using, once again, the guy manned up on the running back. And so he's taking risks. I just want to show you guys again what the thinking is. So right here, the opponent sees the pressure. Everyone is up on the line. A lot of people will block the running back. And so he's taking a calculated gamble. He is saying that if the running back stays in the block, I now get a free defender to just use her over the middle of the field. And that can be really powerful, because he's still going to get instant pressure, but everything is manned up and he's getting another user. And so, unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, because the running back did go out on a route. And that's the one thing, if you're going to play like that, you usually want to, at least for a second or two, go and use that running back. At least sprint towards the running back to get your opponent to move on to the next read. Get your opponent to say, okay, the running back is covered, I need to go somewhere else. The opponent, if you guys saw, is actually going down on purpose for clock management reasons. Dignity has been moving the ball so easily on offense that the opponent is basically saying, I want to score and leave him 0 time left, or as little time left on the clock as possible. Basically saying, if I give him 2 minutes, he's going to at least go down the field and kick a field goal, maybe even score a touchdown. So, the opponent is playing clock games, which is smart. That's what you have to do in Madden 21, where offense is so easy. You have to assume that your opponent is going to move the ball, and you really have to take your clock management really seriously. So right now, Dignity is just in a cover 2 man. His opponent is just running the ball to chew that clock. Now this is the down that really matters. Now his opponent is really going to run it again. It looks like an I-form tied or some similar variation of it. And you can see Dignity, he's not in goal line. Some people like to come out in goal line when they think their opponent's running, but you really don't need to be in goal line unless your opponent comes out in goal line. He's going to stay in his 3-3-5 odd. He's going to trust his defense, and he's going to user a linebacker once again. Now, I expect him, so it's a lot of adjustments happening right now. We'll try and pause for a sec if we can see the play art. So there's a lot happening here, but you can see he's got the running back manned up. And remember, the running back going out on that out route to the left was a big issue. So now the running back is manned up. The soft squat on the left side is interesting. I thought he was going to put a hard flat out there to account for the running back on the out route, but that's already taken care of with the man assignment right there. So the soft squat, if you guys don't know the difference between the different blues, you have hard flats, cloud flats, and soft squats. Now, soft squats are going to play man coverage deep until they are brought back down by someone else coming into their zone short. Down near the goal line, I really don't know exactly what soft squats are going to do. But he's got a curl flat to kind of cover, maybe like the tight end on a drag, or maybe Metcalf is in motion. If Metcalf was on a motion slant, then he's going to run straight into that curl flat. So, I like having the curl flat right there. And then he's got a giant deep blue on the right side. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. I'd be curious to hear from him what the reasoning was for each assignment. But sometimes, guys, it's good to change it up and keep your opponent guessing. You don't want to be predictable. Ideally, you want your opponent to never really know for sure what's going to be on the field, even if you're just making slight adjustments. If you run the exact same thing over and over again, your opponent will adjust. And that's something I need to improve in my game as well. So now it is 4th down. And once again, now he is running basically what I would call almost just the regular meta defense from earlier this year. If you guys saw my video called The Best Defense in Madden 21, this is basically just a variation of like a cover 1 robber press, okay? Everyone is manned up. He's got 2 zones on each side. And I like that he's got the QB spy on his defensive end. QB spies are going to be really powerful near the goal line, especially against a running quarterback, because not only are they going to make that quarterback think twice about scrambling for the touchdown, but they're also just going to kind of sit 2 to 3 yards deep in the end zone and almost act as like a short zone coverage. In fact, they probably will play the short zones better than some of the yellow zones actually do. So QB spies can be really powerful, especially down in the red zone and near the goal line. So I really like having that QB spy right there. And then he's going to be using Amos over the middle, just trying to help out with any man coverage assignments that the AI doesn't pick up. But you can see his opponent is actually going to run this all the way down, call a timeout, and then take the 3, because I think his opponent recognized Dignity was playing really great goal line defense. You need to take the guaranteed points here. If he comes away with nothing, that's not a good spot to be in. You really should be taking the points most of the time, guys, because you have to trust that you're going to score every time. If you go for that 4th down and don't convert it, you're now down a full touchdown. Whereas if you take your 3 and then you score a touchdown on your next drive, now you're winning. So you really want to take your points every single time. But that was the second defensive drive. Let's jump ahead to the 3rd one. So on the kickoff to start the second half, Dignity actually got a fumble return touchdown, which is kind of fluky, but great for him because now he's up 21-10. His opponent is now starting the first drive of the second half on the 15-yard line, and he's definitely going to be passing now. And real quick, guys, I want you to see there is now a hard flat on the left side. If you remember, his opponent is basically running this same play most of the game. And the one thing that was working for him was sending the running back on an out route to the left. So now with a hard flat on the left side, that's going to no longer be available. He still has his hard flat on the right side and his curl flat on the right side to account for any slants and drags and crossers going from the trips wide receiver side over to the right side. He now has a deep blue on the right side because he knows that what his opponent's been doing is with Metcalf, he is motioning him over and putting him basically on a go. Now, most people, if you see motion, most of the time it is motion slants, guys. But this opponent, if you guys were watching some of the previous plays, he was always motioning Metcalf over and putting him on a go. So now that deep blue is taking care of that. And I think this is going to be really great coverage. There are no zones in the middle, but he can just focus on the middle with his user. So he is just going to trust that, there's not going to be anything super open in the middle of the field. And, right there, I think it was great defense. His user tried to stay with the receiver, and unfortunately, just the receiver, if you see, the receiver's just a little bit too fast. But, he was there. It was the right defensive read. Probably just needed to turn around a little bit sooner. But you can't be mad about that one. It just came down to the receiver just being a little bit faster than the wide receiver right there. So now it's a cover 0, no help over the top, which is a little bit risky. But fortunately, that pressure was able to come in, and he's noticing that the opponent really wants to roll right with Russell Wilson. That is a common theme, especially for players who use mobile quarterbacks, is they can become very reliant on rolling out. Now, right here, this is the way you run a blitz. And he was actually shaded over the top this time. This is the same play that he got burned on before, but this time he was shaded over the top with the cornerback, and the pressure just comes screaming in, and his opponent knew he had to throw it quickly. But as long as you are shaded over the top and you're not going against like a Tyreek Hill, and also he has Nickerson on there for the Packers who has 95 speed. So guys, keep that in mind as well. If you put just any old cornerback on DK Metcalf, even shading on the top, it can be a little bit risky. But with Nickerson and his 95 speed, shading over the top, he will be able to guard Metcalf, at least for a few moments, as long as you're bringing in really fast pressure. Now, there was a great quick slant from his opponent right there. And in the video, Dignity even says he was shaded underneath that time. Shading underneath is going to be really good coverage against those short routes. But, just the slant just happened to beat it anyway. Slants are just really, really strong this year. That's just the way they are. So, again, he comes in with his user rush. Now, right here, I would kind of question... I guess he wanted to just get really fast pressure once again. But I really liked what he was doing before, having... the zones on the right side of the field, and you guys can see that the moment he does not put those zones on the right side of the field, his opponent hits that crosser or in route, whatever it was, slant in route crosser, whatever it was, really easily. I think he realized that, okay, I need to have a zone over there. Oh, you can see there's at least a hard flat over there once again. Now right here, Nickerson got burned over the top again. He might not have gotten the shade over the top off that time, but fortunately Metcalf does not hold on to it. But it's just really important, guys, if you're not going to have safety help. Now, he did have one deep blue, but you guys got to realize that a single deep blue is not going to be extremely helpful unless it's a route over the middle. If you have deep threats on the field, if you're going against deep threats like Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, things like that, you really need to have two deep blues if you're not in the red zone. That's just the reality. And even then, deep blues don't always play that great anyway. But he is trusting in these fast Packers cornerbacks to keep up. And now right here, his opponent got a little bit lucky. He got to throw out a sack completion to the running back. But again, he's making his opponent work pretty hard for these yards. And now we're in the red zone again, where Dignity typically plays really great defense. He's in a cover one robber press. Again, we're going to see some zones on the right side, I'm pretty sure. We didn't get to see the play art that time. But right there, that is the power of what I'm pretty sure was shade underneath. And also the power of the Packers corners. Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in the game. I'd never recommend throwing at Jair in man coverage. But right here, by playing shade underneath, that's just super easy. If he was shaded over the top, Jair probably would have stayed up top. And if you watch, this is probably a route that this opponent has thrown a lot. The break of the receiver is going to happen right on the goal line. And he's probably used to playing people shaded over the top. And so on the break, the receiver is gaining separation from the corner. But by shading underneath, there's no separation to be made. Now, also, his receiver never quite got through the break. It looks like maybe, I am going to speculate that it was maybe an in route and he threw it just a little too soon before the break. If it was just a go route, I don't really know what he was looking for right there, because it was pretty obvious that it'd be able to be cut off. But regardless, that is one of the best tips you guys can take away from this video, is that in the red zone, shade underneath, because shading over the top is not that useful because there's not a whole lot of space to go over the top. There's only less than 20 yards of field to even work with right here. So shade over the top is how you're going to help prevent against deep threats, but a lot of people just get in the habit of shading over top regardless of where they are on the field, or some people don't even use shading at all. So definitely I would recommend trying out shade underneath in the red zone. Like, obviously it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect in Madden. Defense is just tough, but I would try that out in the red zone. So now we're on Dignity's fourth and final defensive drive, and he's up 28-10 in the fourth quarter. And so I'll say real quick, guys, your philosophy needs to change a little bit. He is up 3 possessions in the fourth quarter. The number one priority here is don't give up a quick score. If you let your opponent score, make him burn some clock to do it. It's not the end of the world if you let him score, as long as you make him take 2 or 3 minutes to get to the end zone. If you give him a 1-play touchdown, that's really bad. But you don't want to play too conservative, because if you let him score in 4 plays and get out of bounds every play, that's also going to take like only 30 seconds off the clock or something. So you want to be tackling him inbounds, but nothing over the top. That is the number one thing you want to do when you are up 3 possessions in the fourth quarter. Now, right here, it looks like, I think it was fine coverage. Oh, what happened? So this is something to be aware of, guys, is that especially when you might be matching your cornerbacks by speed or by overall, really matching them by anything beyond default, motion can really mess with different assignments. If you guys see right here, I don't know if maybe he manned up Nickerson on Metcalf manually, but if you look and see right before the snap, Metcalf is motioned out there, and his man assignment, Nickerson, is still sitting in the middle of the field. And so that's why his opponent saw that basically Metcalf was briefly unguarded off the line, and it looks like dropped it, but you can't fault the opponent for throwing that. Maybe he should have possession caught it, but you need to be aware of that, guys, is that motion can really mess with some of your assignments, especially if you're in a match by speed or something. I have seen plays where motion completely glitches out the coverage. Now right there, once again, back to that out route from the running back. It seems to be the only thing this guy really has working for him, but it is working well. Well, we're going to start to see some pretty good defense, I think, from Dignity. Or we're just going to give it, oh, okay. Sorry, dude, that one wasn't so good. That wasn't so good. Right here, I'll say, guys, don't, right here, I don't know if he went for the dive or a hit stick or what, but one thing you might want to practice is actually clicking off, okay? Because open field tackling is still pretty tough. And so if he clicks off right here, and by I mean just pressing B or circle and letting the computer make the tackle, there's a pretty good chance that he brings him down. It looks like he maybe went for a dive or a hit stick and gave us some extra yards. Now, again, it's not the end of the world. He is up 3 scores. The tackle is in bounds. But that's just another tip I would have, guys, is maybe, clicking off for that tackle. Now, right here, I really like this play because if you watch his user goes and helps on the slant and then just instantly gets in to apply pressure on the quarterback. Now, it was a 6-yard gain, but I really like that he is both guarding the pass coverage and then quickly transitioning into pressuring the quarterback. So he's aware of all the reads the quarterback is going through. Now, right there, I think that was amazing defense as well. You know, if you watch again, it's almost the same thing. He is going to cover that slants for just long enough and then instantly come down. And right here, this is where I think it's just getting comfortable playing defense. If it was me, because I'm not that good, I would take the user and maybe guard the running back or try to guard the receiver. And I would press in on the right stick to try and send this defender right here at the quarterback. And what would probably happen is half the time clicking on the right stick, doesn't send him anyway. And Russ would be able to buy more time and maybe find someone open. But instead, he just comes straight in at the quarterback and makes him throw it immediately. And if you look at his options, I mean, sure, he could dump it off to the running back, but the running back would, get almost no yards. And he had to force a throw to someone who is very well covered. That ball very well could have been picked off. And so just another really good skill is quickly transitioning from the user coverage seamlessly into pressuring the quarterback. Definitely a skill that I need to get better at. And obviously it's situational. It helps that there's a slant going to that side of the field, the same side of the field that the user is rolling out on. It's not something you can do every play, but just to have that awareness, just instantly get down there after covering the route long enough that the opponent has moved on to his next read. So right here, he did a quick user rush where he, again, that's good coverage. That's good coverage, just unlucky. So guys, watch right here. He is going to go in and engage a blocker for just a moment and then back out. So, and again, why you engage the blocker is that now that blocker is not blocking one of your AI rushers, which hopefully will help them come through a lot faster. So he engages for just a moment, goes and covers, and then rushes the quarterback. And really, it was covered. There was a man all over. Is that Jair Alexander? That might have been Jair Alexander on that coverage on Lockett. I feel like 9 times out of 10, Jair makes a play on that. It was a very, very, very risky throw from his opponent. But, I mean, he was desperate. He was down 3 possessions, so he had to, and it worked out for him. One thing to remember, guys, especially on defensive Madden, you can do everything right, and it still doesn't work out. This year just favors offense very heavily. So when you're giving up points, you can't blame yourself too much. You just have to do the best you can and hope that in the long run it works out. Sometimes just getting one stop is all you need to win a game. So Dignity, he recovers the onside kick, and he's just going to kind of run this game out. He's got it very well in hand. But I hope you guys learned something. He is an excellent player. Go check out his stream. He will talk through all the adjustments he's doing and why he's doing them. Excellent person to learn the game of Madden from. Much better than me, honestly. Great teacher. Definitely go check out his Twitch stream, and I think you guys will learn something. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. And again, if you like this content, if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below. I want to make videos that you guys enjoy watching. But that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.